Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to cover the current affairs. For mobile optimized ebooks, that means the text version of this quiz, please install GKToday Academy app. For regular updates, please join our Telegram channel. This is the name of Telegram channel GKToday YouTube. Please make sure that you join the right channel. Now we have started a new channel. It is Civils Academy. So you can subscribe to it if you find it relevant. It is in the channels tab of YouTube section. Now let's start. Which Indian state is set to launch Roko Toko campaign for urging people to wear mask? So this is a campaign by Madhya Pradesh government. The idea here is to encourage people to wear mask. So this is a behavioral campaign. Apart from that, Madhya Pradesh was also in news because of Jeevan Shakti Yojana. Now, what is this Jeevan Shakti Yojana? It is a scheme under which selected organizations will provide masks to the people at very subsidized rate. Now, Madhya Pradesh was also in news as it is the top state in implementation of PM Swanidhi scheme. Now, what is PM Swanidhi scheme? It is a scheme for the street vendors and it is a scheme by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. And recently, MOHUA was in news as it signed agreement with SIDBI for the implementation of this PM Swanidhi scheme. Global payment tech leader Visa has partnered with which private bank to deploy Visa Secure for e-commerce? So recently, Visa partnered with the Federal Bank to deploy Visa Secure to the bank card holders. Now what is the purpose of this new initiative? The idea here is to provide security to the online transactions in order to curb the online frauds as well as to speed up the process of checkout for the card holders. What is the target year set by the Indian Railways to achieve net zero carbon emission? So the target is 2030. Now recently Indian Railways was also in news as Indian Railways collaborated with BHEL for 1.7 megawatt plant at Bina in Madhya Pradesh. Now what is BHEL? It is Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited. Now Indian Railways was also in news because of post-COVID coach. A special video on this topic will be uploaded on Civils Academy. Which organization has estimated that India needs 6.2% additional spending of GDP to achieve the 2030 SDG targets? So this was estimated by Niti Aayog. As recently Niti Aayog submitted India's second VNR. What is VNR? It is Voluntary National Review. And this was submitted at HLPF. What is HLPF? It is High Level Political Forum. So it is a political forum associated with the United Nations and this is a forum on sustainable development. So recently Niti Aayog submitted second VNR at this political forum. And as per Niti Aayog estimation, we need to provide additional funding to achieve these 2030 SDG targets. Now SDG stands for Sustainable Development Goals. There are 17 Sustainable Development Goals and 169 targets. What is NEOWISE, which was in news recently? So it is a comet. Now why this comet was in news recently? Because it was in news as this comet would be visible in the sky. And the formal name of this comet is C2020 F3 comet. This was discovered in March. Now please note one thing that in yesterday's video, I mentioned it as NEOWISE, so please correct that. Who has been named as the recipient of 2020 won Karman Award of the International Academy of Astronautics? So recently ISRO chairperson Dr. K. Sivan has been named as the recipient of 2020 won Karman Award. And this award was constituted by IAA. What is IAA? It is International Academy of Astronautics. And this award will be conferred in 2021 in Paris. Now, Dr. K. Sivan is the third Indian to receive this award. The first two Indians are Kasturirangan and U.R. Rao. Now, Dr. K. Sivan is the chief of ISRO. What is ISRO? It is Indian Space Research Organization. The headquarters of ISRO is in Bengaluru. Which state's website and application containing the details of all of its schemes has been awarded Elite's Excellence Award 2020? So this state is Chhattisgarh and the website and app which contain all the information about the flagship schemes of Chhattisgarh was the reason behind this award. And this award was announced under the Digital India initiative of Elites Technomedia. Now Chhattisgarh was also in news as recently it organized India's first e-Lok Adalat. Chhattisgarh was also in news because of Rajiv Gandhi Kisan Nyaya Yojana. The state was also in news because of Spandan campaign. Answer in comment box what is the objective of this Spandan campaign. Which country has dropped India from Jabar rail project due to delay in funding? So this country is Iran. Actually in 2016, India and Iran along with Afghanistan decided to work on this project. And as per this agreement, India and Iran are going to collaborate for the construction of a railway line from Jabar port project to Jahedan. Now, I have already uploaded a special video on this topic. Please check that. You will get to know about a lot of things, that why Iranian economy is in crisis, what is JCPOA, what is the significance of Chinese investment in Iran, and how it is going to impact India's interest. Now coming back to Iran, Iran was also in news because of Noor. Noor is the first military satellite of Iran. Iran was also in news as recently it changed its currency and new currency is Toman. One of the richest temples in the country, Sri Padmanabh Swami Temple, is located in the which city of Kerala? So it is located in the Thiruvananthapuram. So recently this temple was in news because of a Supreme Court verdict. We have already covered this. Which institution has developed an ultraviolet sanitizing product named Shuddh? So it has been developed by IIT Kanpur. Now this Shuddh stands for Smartphone Operated Handy Ultraviolet Disinfection Helper. Which organization has collaborated with the trade body FICCI for a campaign to support the vulnerable population? So for this purpose, FICCI and UNICEF has decided to collaborate. What is UNICEF? It is United Nations Children Fund. So what is the idea behind this collaboration? The idea is to develop a campaign to support the most vulnerable population and children. And the name of this campaign is #Reimagine campaign. Now what is FICCI? It is Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. Presently, Sangeeta Reddy is the president of FICCI. Now FICCI was also in news as recently former president VL Dutt passed away. Which major technology company is set to launch $10 billion India Digitization Fund? So this company is Google, and it was recently announced by Google CEO Sundar Pichai. So Google is going to invest 75,000 crores in our country in the next 5 to 7 years. Now Google was also in news as recently Google became the 13th investor in Reliance Jio platform, and Google is going to acquire 7.73% stakes in Jio. So with this, Google is the second largest minority investor in Jio platform after Facebook. Overall, Google became the 13th investor in Jio platform. Now recently, Jio was in news as Jio 5G was announced. This was announced during the 43rd AGM of Reliance Group. What is AGM? It is Annual General Meeting. Who has been appointed as India's new High Commissioner to Bangladesh? So recently, Vikram Doraiswamy has been appointed as India's new High Commissioner to Bangladesh. Apart from him, recently, Rudrendra Tandon has been appointed as India's High Commissioner to Afghanistan. Now recently, Afghanistan was in news because of APTTA, that is Afghanistan-Pakistan Transit Trade Agreement. As recently, Pakistan has allowed Afghanistan to send goods to India using Wagha border. So this APTTA is a bilateral trade agreement between Afghanistan and Pakistan. Which company has launched its new video conferencing app named Blue Jeans? So it is Bharti Airtel, and this Blue Jeans has been launched in partnership with US based telecom company Verizon. So it is a new video conferencing app. Now recently, Reliance also launched a new video conferencing app, and it is Jio Meet. So these were the most important questions of today's quiz. Now we are going to cover the news section. Feel free to skip it at your own risk if you do not like the format. So the first news is related to AAR, that is Authority of Advanced Ruling. So this is related to GST. What is GST? that is goods and service tax. So recently AAR passed a judgment that alcohol based sanitizers will attract 18% of GST. So they will attract higher GST rates. Why? Because they are alcohol based product. Next is Demo Days initiative. So this was conducted by AIM, that is Atal Innovation Mission. This is the initiative of Niti Aayog. So what is the idea behind this Demo Days initiative? The idea is to identify those promising startups which have the potential of COVID-19 innovations. Like if there is a promising startup which can manufacture PPE kits at a very cost-effective rates, or if a startup can produce ventilators or any other equipments associated with COVID-19 treatment. So this initiative is to identify such startups, and this was related to Atal Innovation Mission. Next is Ingenuity. So it is a robotic helicopter that is to be deployed in the Mars mission of NASA. NASA is the space agency of USA. And the name of rover is Perseverance. And the name of helicopter is Ingenuity. Next is India's first transshipment hub. So recently, the Minister of State for Shipping, Mansukh Mandavia, received the developmental activities at Cochin terminal. So this terminal accommodates India's first transshipment hub. Next is 17th of July. So on 17th of July, Prime Minister is going to address the ECOSOC on the 75th anniversary of United Nations. It is important to note that recently India got re-elected as the non-permanent member of United Nations Security Council, and India got elected for the 8th time. Next is Corosure. So recently MHRD Minister launched world's most affordable COVID-19 test kit, and it has been developed by IIT Delhi. So this test kit is Corosure and it is based on the RT-PCR technology, and the base price is approximately 399 rupees. Next is pneumococcal polysaccharide conjugate vaccine. So recently DCGI, that is Drug Controller General of India, approved first indigenous developed pneumococcal polysaccharide conjugate vaccine, and this vaccine has been developed by Serum Institute of India. This is based in Pune. Next is State of Food Security and Nutrition Report. So recently this report was released, and this report was prepared by FAO, IFAD, that is International Fund for Agriculture Development, WHO, that is World Health Organization, and WFP, that is World Food Program, and UNICEF. So these organizations collaborated for this report. The name of the report is State of Food Security and Nutrition. Next is World Youth Skills Day. So it is celebrated on 15th of July. The theme was Skills for a Resilient Youth. Next is Digital Chopal. So recently NABARD organized this Digital Chopal initiative, and this was organized to share the experience of different projects by NABARD. Next is Vidhu Nair. So recently Vidhu Nair was in news, as Vidhu Nair has been appointed as the India's ambassador to Turkmenistan. Next is Brahm Vasudeva. So recently Brahm Vasudeva passed away. He was the chairperson of Hawkins Cookers. Next is If It Bleeds. So this book was in news as it is authored by Stephen King, and this book was released recently. Next is Global Humanitarian Award 2020. So recently Sachin Awasthi was in news because of this Global Humanitarian Award. Next is Infra Business Leader of the Year. So recently Ved Prakash Dudeja has been selected for the Infra Business Leader of the Year. He is the Vice Chairperson of RLDA, that is Rail Land Development Authority. Next is Pragyata Guidelines. So recently MHRD Minister launched these guidelines for the online education. I will try to upload a special video on this topic on Civils Academy channel. Next is Post-COVID Coach. So we have already discussed this. And last is Ashok Lavasa. So the Election Commissioner Ashok Lavasa has been appointed as the new Vice President of Asian Development Bank. So these were the most important questions and news of today's video. Now homework. So first is, what is Horn of Africa? And second is Afghanistan-Pakistan Transit Trade Agreement. Third is, please read about Pragyata Guidelines. And one more topic was in news. It was Nagorno-Karabakh region. So please read about it. that why this region was in news and what is the entire issue. So that was all for the day. Thank you.